Well, kids, here we are, up at the top of the world, crossing the second highest pass we're going to cross this trip. I am looking back behind me into barren lakes back there, and I'll slowly turn around so you can see the background back there. I don't know if this will expose so you can see it or not, but I can tell you what, it's crazy, incredible, beautiful back there. Crazy, incredible, beautiful back there. Sun's just rising behind me, which is why you can't see my face. And now we're headed down into barren lakes, which should be visible. In fact, I can just see them right there. Right there's a couple of them. I don't know if I can get a view that you can see or not. Yeah, right there. See them back there? Headed down into there. This is amazing, frankly. In my opinion, this is some of the most beautiful country that there is anywhere. Check that out over there. Get my face out of there and expose this nice and you can see it good. Well, you know, my old boss, Ayrton Mills, he told me that this little basin right here was the prettiest place in all the Sawtooths. And I certainly wouldn't disagree with him. Ayrton Mills was the Ike, we called him Ike. He was the Forest Service ranger in charge of this area for decades. And he had retired not too long before I went to work for him. And he had a cattle ranch in Garden Valley. And that guy loved to work me to death. That guy he just thought it was so fun. And he was strong, I'll tell you what. He was like 70 then. Oh, he would just work me to death. And then he would laugh about it because he thought that was funny, right? And it was pretty good. So, Ayrton Mills was the ranger in this area, and he said one of the funnest things that he liked to do about being the ranger in this area was all the kids that he'd get from college that were coming in to do trail maintenance. And he said I'd take them out and I'd work them to death, just like I'm working you to death right now. And then he would laugh. That old guy was bald as a billiard ball. And I mean, probably not, 16 ounces of fat all over his whole body. Built nice looking man, and he'd always work without his shirt on. So we'd go out, him and I'd go for a drive around and look at what needed to be done that morning. And he'd smoke cigarettes, he'd be drinking his coffee, and then the sun would come out and off would come off the shirt, and boy, we'd be working like crazy, and sweat would just be pouring off of him. It was really a privilege to work for that guy. And when I walk in here, I remember that old Ayrton Mills told me, he says, yeah, he said, Barren Lakes Basin is the prettiest spot in the whole Sawtooth. In fact, he sent me and another kid up here to this place, Jim Simpson. Jim Simpson and I, we hiked up through that notch right there. Now he and it was 1976, I think, or 77, I can't remember for sure. Anyway, we hiked up from Grangine, where I'm gonna go, where the swimming pool is. We hiked up from there, and then we hiked along here and got off the trail and went up there and then walked over the top. Stayed at Goat Basin up there. Goat Basin's pretty cool, actually. Goat Basin's actually really cool. Anyhow, we stayed in Goat Basin, and then we walked down and went back out to Grangine where the car was. I had a 19, oh no, wait. Might show it now. It might be gonna screw it up and show it. It's right there. It's right there. That's the spot we walked through the pass right there. Anyhow, now it's not that important really as a story, except for it was my first backpacking trip I ever took without my father. And he took me on one when I was 13 up in the Selkirks. And it also was my first cross-country backpacking trip, which all of my children will know was something we did lots and lots and lots as a family, right? And so, kind of one of them kind of stories, you know? And I tell you what, we walked, it was so hard. We had heavy gear, you know. I think I borrowed my dad's external frame backpack, which was the best gear we had in those days. I had a pair of boots that I bet weighed 5 pounds apiece. Top of the line. We carried a steel skillet cooked over a fire, rice-a-roni, and we thought we were doing great. It was quite an operation. But since then, we've managed to do a lot of cross-country stuff. And you know, that Go Basin up there, it has this, it's really high. And there was probably a lot of recent glaciation in the last few thousand years up there. There are these huge sheets of rock that are just polished. You know how you see marble that's polished in fancy buildings and stuff on the floors? Well, it was like that. Just wonderful. You could actually get up there and slide on it on your butt, just on your pants and slide. It was wonderful. Anyway, that's another story for you. Well, here we are, hiking down Barren Creek. I'll give you a kind of a view. I don't know if I can even get it in there. It's so high back there. Big waterfall off to my right, you can hear that. Now we're gonna go down there. That's where we're gonna go later today. And we're not gonna go all the way down though. We're gonna go down and camp, and then we're going to we're gonna hike back up another pass. Wow, look how high that is up there. We're gonna hike up another pass and go to Sawtooth Lake. Now Granny has been to Sawtooth Lake at one point because she hiked in there out of the Stanley side, if I remember right, with our friends Joyce and John. Well, this country has so much elevation into it. I'm just going to drop the camera, hopefully you'll get some idea of the perspective. How high that mountain is behind me back there. If I can get it to focus on the mountain instead of on me. It's too bad you can't see it. Let me see if I can get it up here. Give me, there it is, see it? I've got to point the camera like at 45 degrees up to get the top of the mountain in there. And there you go. Now you can almost see both of us in there. There it is. So now it's in the picture. Now watch. This country is so steep. Today I'm going to walk down 4,000 feet of elevation. Tomorrow back up 3. Well, headed down Barren Creek. It's beautiful as can be. Goodness gracious sakes. Like I said, I walked up here when I was 16 or 17. I can't remember exactly. And honestly, I don't remember that much of it. But what's true is that I saw a lot of waterfalls and such. There's a lot of big old growth forest going on, like big old red fir trees. at this. There's even a little grove of quaking aspens right here. That's kind of cool. Now pretty much the way out of here today is down. I've already lost almost all the elevation. Probably got another 800 or 1,000 feet to go down, but not much. And I'm gonna camp in the creek. I'm not gonna be at a lake tonight. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, it's brushy. I fell over I tripped on a rock and then fell over a log and really skinned up my shin, my left shin. Let's see if I can show you, if we can get a picture of that. See it down there? Let's see if I can get I don't know, can you see that or not? Yeah, you can see it right there. Yeah, and I tell you what, walking through all this brush is like, oh yeah, don't you wish you wouldn't have did that? And the thing is, I wasn't off trail, wasn't doing anything dangerous. I just took off my pack to take a rest and eat my breakfast. And lo and behold, this rock was just a little loose, it moved. Lost my balance, leaned up against the darn log right next to it. Thought I would catch myself, but then didn't. That's how I did my shin. Then fell clean on my head on the other side. Really glad I didn't have my pack on. Yeah, anyway, it's great. We'll talk to you later.